I'm Jane King at the New York Stock Exchange. With me is Dr. Pano Churchill, who is, let's just set the stage here. You're the grandson of Winston Churchill? Okay. And you are working on bringing back the Concorde.
Yes.
Tell me where you're at with that.
So Concorde has always been a dream, and it was a dream, and it started with Winston Churchill, who wanted to create the peace dividend after the war. So in his approach to aviation, having himself being a flyer and a person that terribly loved aeroplanes, he chose to turn the military Avro Vulcan supersonic super secret plane of England after the war into the Concorde, which is a passenger plane, very similar and almost identical in shape and the way of being powered and the engine of the Avro Vulcan, except it would have the carrying of passengers instead of bombs. Okay. And that was his peace dividend after the war, turning swords into plowshares. Now, of course, so many years later, after the Concorde had a successful career of 30 years and transferring 2.5 million passengers on the French and the English Concorde with British Airways never having an accident, it was unfortunately stopped when the French version of the Concorde had an accident in Paris. Now we are recreating the same plane, the Supersonic, a little bit faster, flying a little bit higher, and being a whole lot safer. Over the past 20 years that the Concorde has not flown, we have been able to create patents for a quiet sonic boom, so you don't experience the noise in the ground, for an environmentally sustainable plane, so that way we do not waste the atmospheric ozone. Instead, we found a solution to actually be creating ozone out of our emissions, and this is the first in aviation history. And I probably cannot stress enough how important it was the science that we developed in physics to actualize the capacity of the Concorde to create ozone instead of depleting ozone. I personally had been the head of the environmental parliament. I would never want to create a plane that would actually diminish our breathing space. So we found a way to support the atmosphere, the climate, and the sustainability. And most importantly, we will start flying in 2027 in such a way that would allow within our country, from coast to coast, from shiny sea to shiny sea, to connect, make the place a little bit friendlier, a little bit smaller, and being able to serve the business class with a capacity of flying from Los Angeles to New York and back in the same day and sleeping in their own pillow after taking meetings in New York and vice versa.
Oh, that would be amazing. It's amazing how much technology has improved since, what was that, 2001?
It stopped flying in 2001. And it actually, as you know, today is 9/11 and we all memorialize these dark days that will always live in infamy. We know that airplanes can be a source of difficulty, but the transportation that they provide us is the source of our wealth as a nation and commerce and connecting with each other. Now, for the first time in the last half a century, our president wrote the Concorde Bill, if you will, that allows us again, since June 6th, to fly supersonic above America. This was not possible in the last 50 years because the great companies like Boeing and Lockheed, they had lobbied the government to prevent the Concorde from flying the profitable routes across America.
Yeah. So
we'll do it again.
Let's talk about the business of it. Is this a Boeing plane? And
it's absolutely not. We are a new company. The name is called Concorde. We are a United States company in Seattle, Washington, where Boeing used to be. We are a local Western state company, and we are building the supersonic plane as an American plane now, not as an English plane or a French plane.
Okay.
It's a vastly different time because you use well-proven American engines, engineering, and the wherewithal of our great country and our region in Seattle, which is the aerospace capital of the world. Unfortunately, Boeing is not there at the headquarters. It has moved to Virginia. But we are there, and what I like to say, when an old elephant is falling, there is a place for a young one, to start standing up. So we all know the stories, but most importantly, the new Concorde, starting 27, will connect America from the two coasts well before creating an airline that would go across the Great Pacific or the Atlantic. We are focused on an American plane for the American business market.
Okay. So how quick New York to LA?
New York to LA, an hour and a quarter.
What?
Yes,
Oh, that's amazing.
incredible.
Oh, that is. And you said 2027. What needs to happen between now and then to
Well,
get that?
the prototypes need to be certified by the FAA, and those are what we call the experimental planes that, they do a lot of trials. Once they're certified by FAA, we will start the assembly production, and at that time, we will have enough planes to start taking routes across the U.S., starting from Seattle to New York, Seattle to Washington, D.C., Seattle to Atlanta, and then San Francisco to the same destinations, and then Los Angeles to the same. This is our plan. This is our business plan. This is very much the most profitable routes, and because the hubs are very difficult, we will have mini hubs, sort of like riding on the coattails of other greater lines that they would want to allow the Concorde to cooperate with them because they'll have a share of the profits. The profitability of having the upper business class segment in our planes is unquestionable. The profitability of these routes being the number one routes in the whole world is unquestionable. And the fact that our president, in his administration, on June 6th, he finally allowed us to fly at supersonic speeds across America is the most important thing that's given to us. So here goes Concorde, once again, up in the skies.
Well, I hope you come back in 2027 for the launch. That would be amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Churchill.
Before I go, I must say we'll be back before that because you're going to have an IPO here in the New York Stock Exchange in 1 year's time.
Okay. Well,
If you can help us with that, we will be very best pleased and your best friends.
we will do an update then. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.